Let's start by giving our praises to the Most High, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, and the Holy Spirit, who taught us his truth. Honors to the brethren, that's laboring, doing the work, um, risking their life and freedom to push the gospel. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, which will be 1/3 of us Israelites, according to the scriptures, who would be the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, who will be seeking their salvation by returning back to the Most High, by hearing and believing on His word, so that He will have mercy on us in judgment. So we back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. This lesson is going to be World War III update number 52. So this is going to be World War III update number 52. It's going to be titled The Battle of Armageddon is Being Prepared. So again, the Battle of Armageddon is being prepared. Now I got a video. We're going to get about 4.5 minutes of it. And then we're going to get into some information, look at some maps, all of that. So let's get into this video real quick. And we see the title of the video, Iran vows to punish Israel for embassy airstrike. Hey, this is breaking news because as of yet, Iran really has no part in this war. But an Iranian embassy was just blew up in Syria by Israeli airstrikes. So, we got more players coming into the battle, this Battle of Armageddon, which will take place in the east. And we're going to show all that. So, we're going to let this video roll. Yeah.
It's a major escalation in West Asia, one that could pit Iran against Israel. We're talking about a disastrous confrontation. It could drag the whole region to war.
See that? She said that could drag the whole region into war. Which we're going to show it on the maps, only a small part of the so-called Middle East, West Asia, whatever, etc. Only a small part of that is involved in a battle. But she said this whole region of the Middle East, West Asia, about to be dragged into this war. And that's the Battle of Armageddon. We're going to show that with the scriptures and some maps.
So what exactly happened? On Monday evening, missiles targeted a building in Syria, in the capital Damascus. This building was an Iranian consulate. It was located right next to the embassy. And what was the damage? 7 Iranian officers were killed in the strike. Among them were 2 big names. Brigadier General Mohammad Reza Zahedi. He was a senior commander in the Quds Force. He served in Lebanon and Syria between 2008 and 2016, so an experienced foreign hand for Iran. The other was Brigadier General Mohammad Hadi Haji Rahimi. He was Zahedi's deputy. So 2 top Iranian generals have been killed. The question is, by whom? Both Syria and Iran point fingers at Israel. The Syrian government has released an elaborate statement. It says Israeli jets flew in from Golan Heights. Some of their missiles were shot down, but the rest hit the Iranian building. Now, as you would expect, the regime is livid. The Iranian state media has released a statement from the supreme leader, and he is promising to punish Israel.
The evil regime of Israel will be punished by the hands of our brave men. We will make them regret this crime and similar ones, God willing.
And what is Israel saying? They haven't confirmed or denied the allegation. Their only response was no comment. But there is precedent for such attacks. In the past, Israel has carried out multiple strikes inside Syria. One of them was last week, in fact. Israeli bombs targeted Aleppo and Damascus. Around 53 people were killed. Another strike was in January. Again, Damascus was targeted by Israel. They killed around 5 senior Iranian officers. Now, these attacks raise a couple of questions. A, what are Iranian officers doing in Syria? The government says advising, basically helping the Syrian military fight the rebels. And B, why does Israel target them? Well, Israel accuses Iran of building an axis of evil, of using Syria to support anti Israel groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza. Israel says Iran funnels money and weapons via Syria, hence these attacks. But Monday's strike went one step ahead. Not only did they hit a foreign embassy, they took out top Iranian generals. The question is why? Why would Benjamin Netanyahu risk an escalation? We can think of 3 possible explanations. One is a preemptive strike. Maybe Israel had intel on something big, maybe an attack coordinated by Syria. It's unlikely, but it is possible. The second reason is to test Iranian resolve. We've seen a lot of tough words from Tehran, but we haven't seen actions. Iranian proxies have been attacking ships and planes, but not Iran. The regime has stayed away from direct involvement. But an Israeli attack on Rafah could change that. Most people agree that it would be a bloody operation. Thousands of civilians could die, and that may tempt Iran to get involved. So perhaps Israel was testing the waters to see how far it can push Iran. And finally, the third explanation, to drag the Americans in.
That's the third explanation. That's the point. Why would Israel be picking a war with Iran? And let's see what she said.
And finally, the third explanation, to drag the Americans in. Joe Biden has been scaling back his support to Israel. There is pressure to cut off military aid.
So yeah, like she say, Israel want to draw America into this war. And especially since America been holding back on the weaponry that they've been supplying to Israel. Well, Israel want more weapons from America. And how do they figure they can get more weapons from America if they start a bigger regional war with all these countries?
Face off with Iran would change all of that.
She said a face off with Iran would change all of that. America will have to get in. Israel will require more weapons. All right, so I got some information pulled up. We gonna get the key players in this Battle of Armageddon right now, because the final battle, the Battle of Armageddon, is not gonna be between Russia and Ukraine. It's not gonna be between China, Taiwan, Japan, North and South Korea. It's gonna be in what you call the Middle East or West Asia. Now we're gonna break all this down. All right, so first we're gonna look at this, because to not be hearing about how the war is spreading, I hear all these different names and different groups. I can't really keep up with who is who, and I like following the war like a lot of people follow sports. So I want to be able to understand what's going on. So Hamas, we heard that a lot. The acronym for Harakat Maqawama Islamia, etc. It's an Islamic resistance movement. It's the largest and most capable militant group in the Palestinian territories. So Hamas is a militant group based out of Palestine. So Hamas are Palestinians. And when you think of a militant group or a militia, you might think of here in the U.S., the KKK, the Proud Boys, which is a small sect of the Ku Klux Klan. Your different militia groups, the NFAC, which was a black militia group set up by Esau. So these are not official militaries, but they're militant groups, with weaponry. They fight for Islamic rights, etc. And again, Hamas is a militant group based out of Palestine. All right, here goes another one, Hezbollah. We've been hearing about that. And see, Hamas and Hezbollah, I thought were countries. Turned out they're not. So let's get this one. Military experience gained from fighting in Syria's civil war and decades of clashes with Israel has strengthened the Iran-backed group. But politically, it's clout among Lebanon's. So, anyways, Hezbollah will be a militant group based out of Lebanon. Hezbollah wields significant power in Lebanon, where it operates as both a Shiite Muslim political party and militant group. It opposes Israel and Western powers operating in the Middle East, and it functions as a proxy of Iran, its largest benefactor. So again, Hezbollah is based out of Lebanon. These are Lebanese people. And you see, we're going to see this phrase a lot. Iran-backed group. So, Iran would be like they big homie, got they back. Iran would supply them with soldiers, military training, weaponry, etc. But also, too, this is propaganda, you know, through Western media, they real good at painting different people or regions to be the enemy. So America always throwing this phrase, Iranian backed group, is because they really want to get Iran, but they want to get the people's minds into thinking, oh, those are Iranians, Iranian bossing them around. No, these people fighting for their own cause. It's just they so happen to be cool with Iran. But again, Hamas, those are Palestinians, which Palestine and Israel share the same landmass, which we're going to show that, which is why they fighting. And again, Hezbollah, those would be Lebanese, is based out of Lebanon. We're going to show all this on the map. And then when we come here, who are the Houthis and why are they attacking Red Sea ships? Now, the Houthis, I'm like, who are all these people? I can't really follow what's going on, but we're going to make sense of it. Houthi rebels have launched more than 40 attacks on commercial ships in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden since November. And propaganda again. The Houthis are an Iranian-backed rebel group which considers Israel an enemy. Just because they consider Israel the enemy, they got to be Iranian-backed. No, these people fighting for their own cause they just so happen to be cool with Iran. These people are trying to fight Western influence in the Middle East. How America go in, collapse people governments, take their resources, put in a puppet government. That's what all these different groups are fighting. And then again, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, these are not official militaries. Like, for example, Hezbollah is a militant group based out of Lebanon, but the actual country of Lebanon, they got their own official military, their own official Navy and Air Force. This militant group out of Lebanon, they just patriotic Lebanese people fighting for the greater good of their country and their people. Same with the Houthis. Same with Hamas. Now let's get back on the Houthis. All right. As a matter of fact, the Houthis, they're Yemenis people, if I'm saying it right. They would be based out of Yemen. And then you see the title that they've been attacking merchant ships in the Red Sea. This is Yemen, and this is Houthi-controlled territory. This dark shade of red area, and this is the Red Sea. And as we zoom in, this is where these merchant ships got to cross through to get goods, to Europe, to the east coast of the U.S., to the U.S. in general. And then the Houthis, you see, they right there on the Red Sea. So that's why they've been giving America hell, with these merchant ships, destroying them, attacking them, got them scared to sail through here. So what? They got to sail all the way around the east coast and southeast coast of Africa, going into the southern hemisphere and back up. This is going to create a famine as ships can't get through here. So these ships, they going through the hot zone. So again, the Houthis are based out of Yemen. And, again, these are not official militaries, but militant, patriotic people fighting against this damn devil, Esau Edom, in America and Israel. And then, you hear about the Gaza Strip. I'm like, what is that? And then you see the title of this is Blockade of Gaza Strip. So what we're going to show is the Gaza Strip. That's actually Palestine. Palestine is divided up into two separate two separate pieces of land. So who would this be? This darker brown, darker gray area that's surrounding this lighter brown area. This darker brown area is the actual country of Israel today. And Palestine would be these lighter brown pieces of land. And this is the Gaza Strip. And this would be known as the West Bank. And that's the war that's been going on with Palestine and Israel, is Israel won't control in ownership of all of this land, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, trying to push out the Palestinians. You remember the militant group of Palestine would be Hamas. That's why Hamas was the first group we heard fighting against Israel going back to October 7th last year, where Israel was attacked with over 7,000 rockets. And then again, the Gaza Strip, you see, is completely surrounded by Israel. So that's why Israel is putting hell on the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Gaza Strip got a complete blackout. No cell phone service, no internet. They can't get no food and water in the area. People are starving to death, dying of thirst. Israel is bombing them to hell and back, destroying refugee camps, blowing up hospitals, killing children and women, pets and animals. Israel is going in on them. And you see, because it's a small strip of land, so they really fighting for their life. And then West Bank, which is a bigger area, they got it too, but you mainly hear about the Gaza Strip. They trying to take the little piece back first. We got a couple screenshots right here. So when we look at this one right here, it says aid workers killed in Gaza by apparent Israeli strike, including U.S., Canada dual citizen. So aid workers, what's going on when we look at the map of the Gaza Strip? Remember, Israel is committing genocide on the Gaza Strip, trying to starve them to death, dehydrate them to death. They got no medical supplies, hospitals. They trying to commit genocide. So there's different countries who's contributing to this international effort, to bring aid to the Gaza Strip, to the Palestinians who's fighting for their life. And they deliver things like food, water, medicine. And guess what these devils did? Israel went and blew up the trucks, the delivery trucks, and the delivery drivers who would deliver goods to the Gaza Strip. And one of the people that got killed was a U.S. Canadian citizen. He had dual citizenship. And all Israel did was say sorry. And then again, you see the Palestinians and the Israelis, they share the same landmass, or they're within the same borders. The the country is really split in two. Then this is Palestine. So back to the previous article, that's the blockade of the Gaza Strip. And what Israel is trying to do is really commit genocide to the Palestinians here at the Gaza Strip, seeing it's only a little piece of land. They trying to kill them all off so they can reclaim that land for themselves. And then they're going to do West Bank next. So again, that's why, matter of fact, let's go to this previous article. There's some information down here. Let me see. Yep, that's why on October 7th, Hamas launched a coordinated land, sea, and air assault that took Israel by surprise. At least 1,200 Israelis were killed in the attacks, the deadliest day for Israel since its independence. And about 240 were taken hostage. They was taking men, women, and children hostage. They was burning women alive. Israel's response led to hundreds of deaths in the Gaza Strip. So yeah, after Hamas, you remember Hamas is a militant group based out of Palestine. And Hamas attacked Israel, and then Israel started putting hell on them. All right. And we're going to look at all this on the map in a minute. And you see, when we zoom in here, it's kind of hard to see. Let's see. This turquoise area, that's Israel. And this little orange strip right here, and again, this orange piece right here, known as West Bank, that's Palestine. So you see, again, Israel and Palestine are like two countries in one. This is what we're looking at here when you blow it up and make it bigger. So this is the Battle of Armageddon. Everything is going to be centered in this area. So again, you see Israel and Palestine, but you see this little blue, which Hamas is out of Palestine, and you see Lebanon. And I believe Lebanon was which one? That was Hezbollah. And you see Lebanon is just north of Israel, where Hezbollah is based out of. And then you also see Syria, which Iran has an embassy in Syria, which was just attacked, killed 7 Iranian generals. Then you go further east, you see Iraq, and then also you see Iran. And then let me see. I believe Jordan, where is Yemen? Let me see. I'm gonna have to look on the Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Yemen. So south of Saudi Arabia would be Yemen. Oh, there we go. I have to zoom out. You see Yemen. And we know Yemen is the Houthis, who's attacking the ships going through the Red Sea, putting hell on America and Israel. So war started off with Palestine and Hamas, and then it grew and went to Lebanon, calling out the Hezbollah militant group. Now it's spreading over into Syria, and then it's also spreading to Yemen with the Houthis. So that's why in that interview, the news briefing, she said, Israel is calling for a bigger regional war to bring out America. Because also, too, who's going to get involved will be Turkey. When you read Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, also going to get involved. But you see, they're calling out Iran next. Because when you consider Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, those are not official militaries, although they're skilled fighters. So Israel has been having it, kind of easy. That's why Israel is poking everybody, provoking everybody to get in this war. Because Israel, although it is a small country compared to these other countries, Israel got state-of-the-art military technology and weaponry because they get it from America. So Israel, little as it is powerful because they backed by America. just as, the Houthis and Hezbollah is backed by Iran. But see, Israel hasn't been fighting none of these countries directly. They've been fighting they militant groups, patriotic citizens of them countries. But now Israel is calling for war with Iran, attacking the Iranian embassy in Syria. And the thing is, Israel got nuclear weapons. That's all cool. Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, they ain't got nuclear weapons. They would have been used. They would have been used though. Genesis say that Ishmael is a wild man and to put his hands on anybody. So again, at these previous militant groups discussed had nuclear weapons, they would have been used on. What makes? How do you raise the stakes for the battle? Well, you got one country with nuclear weapons going into direct war with another country that got nuclear weapons, being Iran. And don't forget, Iran last year revealed that they hypersonic missile. So again, Iran has hypersonic missiles. So this war that most of our people been overlooking, that America has been at ease during the duration of these wars, that's because who Israel been fighting ain't got nuclear weapons. Well, Iran is about to jump in this war. So stakes gonna be a lot higher. That closer to the Battle of Armageddon. Seeing that this is becoming a regional war that's going to draw in the entirety of the Middle East, as well as Russia, China, Taiwan, America, Europe, etc. All right. So let's get this. This is Revelation 16 and 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. What's the kings of the east? Everybody in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Russia. So yeah, the Euphrates River will be dried up. And then I've got a map of that river. This is the Euphrates River right here. It goes through Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Iran. And we see Israel right here, Lebanon. And what did we just say? The water of the Euphrates River will be dried up. So this river dried up. Iran, the kings of the east, Iraq, Russia, hey, they got a clear path to Israel and America, because America gonna be there as well. Matter of fact, let's get this in the NLT. This is the way that they worded it. The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and it dried up so that the kings of the east could march their armies toward the west without hindrance. So yeah, Russia, Iran, Iraq, China, that's the kings in the east too. When you go farther east, they're gonna what? March with their armies toward the west. And what would the west be of the Euphrates? Israel. Not to mention, this word west is synonymous with America and Israel, since America is a Western country and Israel is backed by that Western country. So when it says that they can march toward the west, literally America and Israel. And then when we go to verse 13, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. We know the dragon is America. It's America. And out of the mouth of the beast, which is NATO, including Europe, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So this is all dealing with America, Europe, etc. And it's obvious because we know the dragon, we know all that. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. So yeah, these devils, the beast, the false prophet, the dragon, America, they working to gather the kings of the earth: Russia, China, Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, who else? Syria, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. You know, they working to get the kings of the earth and of the whole world. So America is about to take on the entire earth in this World War III to gather them to the battle of that great day of the God Almighty. So this proves that the world being destroyed by fire is by nuclear war. Because why is there such an emphasis on the future battle, on the future world war? Again, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world. This is a world war, the whole world. And this is the day of the Lord, which will be destruction from the Almighty. When you read Isaiah the 13th chapter, we're just gonna get that real quick. I think it's Isaiah 13:6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Going up a verse. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So you see the whole world being gathered for battle. That's going to bring these weapons that can destroy entire land masses. And that what? That would be the day of destruction, the day of the Lord. And continuing. And let's go back here. Yep. And also something too that I want to get, we're gonna go to the Apocrypha, because we see Saudi Arabia, you know, that's the kings of the east too. That's gonna go west to Israel. And cause Saudi Arabia, they gonna get in this war too. Because what did we just see in verse 14? The kings of the earth and the whole world. Now let's show Saudi Arabia up in here. We're gonna hit, Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 28. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. What is that east? The so-called Middle East / West Asia. Yeah, this is a horrible vision, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians. Now I believe the Carmanians would be the Persians, which would be Iran and Iraq. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So yeah, you see, you know, the Carmanians, which would be the Persians, Iran, Iraq, the dragons of Arabia, all these countries coming together from the east toward the west. Back to Revelation 16 and 12. So that the kings of the earth from the east could march their armies toward the west without hindrance. So yeah, future key players. Look for Iran, look for Iraq, also look for Saudi Arabia to join the battle, and also Turkey. So yeah, focus with Russia is going to shift from Ukraine to the Middle East. This is just about 5 days ago. Red Sea crisis. Russian warships enters the Red Sea amid Houthi attacks. So yeah, Russia warships enter the Red Sea. Now what does that line up with? Revelation the 16th chapter. So that the kings of the east could march toward their armies toward the west without hindrance. So yeah, Battle of Armageddon is being prepared and set up. All right. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth. That's why we watching. That's why we doing these lessons. That's why we watching World War III news and updating the true believers. And that's why they watch our videos. We all keep and watch and keep off his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Was you being naked without protection, without the Holy Spirit? Was you being shamed, destroyed in judgment? And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. So this is the Battle of Armageddon. That's World War III. That's the nuclear destruction. Now, you got something we're gonna look at real quick. We're gonna look up this place, this word Armageddon in the Blue Letter Bible.
Strong's G 717, Armageddon. Strong's G 717, Armageddon. Armageddon.
And then when you go to the cross reference for Armageddon, as you see I've been doing over here to the left on the screen recording, something that comes up is Megiddo.
Strong's H 4023, Megiddo. Megiddo.
Place of crowds. So yeah, what's that crowd? The gathering of the troops to battle. So again, Armageddon, the root word of Armageddon would be Megiddo, as we see right here.
Second entry, Megiddon.
And that's what the root word for Armageddon.
Megiddon.
And then when I move this thing up here and we look at this word Megiddo and Megiddon, it says what? Rendezvous, Megiddon or Megiddo, a place in Palestine. And ain't that where the war started? Was in Palestine, more specifically the Gaza Strip. So the whole Battle of Armageddon began with Palestine. You know, attacking Israel and Israel attacking the Gaza Strip in return. So this is the Battle of Armageddon. It's going to be centered here between Palestine and Israel. That's going to draw out countries like Iran, then eventually Saudi Arabia, Iraq, America, Russia. But what's going to draw out all these other countries? This is Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, who we know is a so-called white man, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman, the inhabitants of Edom, the white man. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. What's the least of the flock? These smaller countries. Somebody, smaller country as Israel is going to draw out the bigger powers, America. Somebody as small as the Gaza Strip, Palestine, they're going to draw out Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, eventually Russia, China, North Korea. So again, surely the least of the flock is going to draw them out. The least of the flock is going to draw out Edom. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So they're going to use these smaller countries to bring out the bigger countries, and he's going to leave all of them desolate. And then we see the same precept worded a little differently in Jeremiah 50:45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. We know Babylon in future prophecy is America. So these smaller countries are going to draw out America. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. But why does it say this, but it says against Babylon? And in the previous precept, it says the same thing, but against Edom. Well, Babylon is the place, but Edom is the people. It's because Babylon is composed of many people. It's a melting pot, but it's a specific group of people in Babylon that the Lord is after. And that would be the Edomites in Babylon. You know, they gonna get it first. than the rest of the world. So yeah, that's World War III update number 52. The Battle of Armageddon, be prepared. Lord willing, it was edified, and yeah. Oh, and matter of fact, yeah, we see Megiddo right here. You know, an ancient place on a modern day map. So yeah, this is the Battle of Armageddon. Everybody's gonna come from the east and come west. This is gonna be the hot spot. All right. Until next time, Shalom.